Greetings from the Morgan County Public Library in Martinsville, Indiana. My name is Janice, and I am the Reference and Genealogy Librarian. I'm recording this YouTube video from the lovely remodeled Carnegie portion of the library, now known as the place to do your local history and genealogy research. Right now, our hours are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, 9 to 5:30 p.m., and Tuesday and Thursday from noon to 8:30 p.m. But stay tuned, in June, our hours are going to increase, and I'm really excited about that, and I hope you are too. It's best if you call ahead to be sure that we are indeed open, and also to schedule an appointment with me if you wish to do genealogy research. Walk-ins, of course, are always welcome, but I can't guarantee that you'll be able to get the assistance you need. You might be able to. We have several other staff members besides myself who are capable of assisting you. And also, I do need a lunch hour, so I'm likely to be out of the building during that time. So if you walk in and I'm not here, it's yet another reason to call ahead and schedule an appointment. Now on to May's topic. Because Memorial Day starts at the end of this month, I've decided to show you the books the library has to help you do research on your military ancestors. Some of you watching may not live close by or have ancestors in Morgan County, Indiana. I encourage you to stay tuned anyway. Why? Because your local library might have some of the same things, or the library where your ancestors lived might have some of the same types of books also. And at the end of the video, I'll go over some things that you can do from the comfort of your own home. I'm going to start with soldier exemption books, and we have many volumes of these, and this is just one, and it's very, very skinny, as you can see. But most of them are thicker. They're about that thick. I mean, they come out this far, but this one, because it's 1936, is very small. What this is are the papers that were filled out to provide property tax exemptions for veterans. And I'm going to show you one, and I've lost my bookmark for it, so I apologize. It's going to take me a little bit to find it. For Elizabeth M. Cox. It shouldn't be too hard to find, because they're in alphabetical order. There seem to be a lot of B's. Oh, here she is. Here's Elizabeth M. Cox. If you take a look at this record, there's a lot of things you can see from this. You'll find information that shows she is 88 years of age. This might help you determine her birth year, as the form was filled out in May of 1936. A little subtraction will give you the birth year of approximately 1848. You may also see she is the widow of a Civil War soldier. The names in the books are in alphabetical order, as I mentioned before, and the location of the home is also listed. The place where she either lived or paid property taxes on is listed. So if you want to know where your ancestor used to live, this might be a good place to look for that information. But again, it's just for military and veterans specifically. Our next book is Ancestors of the American Revolution, and it was created by Tom Yaden in this 3-ring binder. And the book, of course, is not all inclusive of every single American revolutionary soldier. It's just the 11 soldiers in his family. Or I assume they are all American revolutionary. They may not be. I haven't looked into this book in great detail, but at least there are 11 of his ancestors, and some of whom were in the American Revolution. Now, these ancestors also had wives and children, and any person mentioned in this book is also in the index. So it might be a good place to look, especially if some of the surnames match. And even if the first 11 don't match at the table of contents, do check the index, because there's way more than 11 surnames listed here. Some of you might remember Phyllis Walker, and that is what I held up at the beginning of this video. She worked here at the library for many, many years in a variety of different positions. Although she has passed on, she has left a legacy here in the Morgan County Public Library genealogy area. She's compiled an index to some veterans of Morgan County, Indiana, and in it you will find surnames from Abbott to Zupanik. The veterans listed served in the Revolutionary War through the Vietnam War, and some of them have the cemetery listed where they are buried. So again, a very, very useful source. If you need more specific information where your ancestor is buried, take a look at this book, Morgan County Cemetery Records for Veterans. It's actually 2 books in one. The first parts of the book lists the veterans buried in Morgan County cemeteries, and then the second part of this book lists where in the cemetery they are buried. That is really very good because we have very little information about where people are buried here in Morgan County. So another good source. Next, we have different stories and diaries from Civil War soldiers. These are not necessarily originals, but might be transcriptions of diaries and other documents. And they are The War of the Rebellion, Personal Diary of W.H. Beach. And then the next one is a memorandum, January through July 1864, Major George W. Grubbs. And the next one is Private James W. Jacobs, Company G, 27th Regiment, Indiana Infantry, United States Army. And even if you're not related to these specific people, the stories included might be very interesting reading if you are a Civil War buff. And last but not least, a book that I thought was missing, but it actually is not. It's a copy of a diary by John M. Tomey, or Toomey, Tomey, Company G, 27th Indiana Volunteers, January 1st, 1864 to September 15th, 1864. Now, if you need information about the 27th Indiana, the James W. Jacobs family has compiled 3 different ones. I have not compared and contrasted these to see what all they have, but if you need information about that particular regiment, we probably have it right here in one of these 3 books. So that's the first one. The second one is a regimental roster. And then a 3-ring binder, which I'm suspicious may be the same as the first 3-ring binder I showed you. But again, I haven't taken the time to go through it. I really wanted to get this up and going so you would know all of the books, or almost all of them anyway, that we have on Morgan County military personnel. Now, Melissa Rose researched and published Morgan County Civil War veterans. It has 30 pages of veterans listed by name, rank, company, dates, and other miscellaneous information. Then there are 9 pages of registered veterans listed in 4 columns per page. And then that section is followed by almost 40 pages of the veterans and where they are buried. And I thought I'd just give you a quick peek in here. So you can see they are listed, as I mentioned, by name, rank, company, dates, and other miscellaneous information. Now, that concludes my book talk. But if you're stuck at home and can't get to the library books, well, Find My Past has lots of military records. Now, if I remember correctly, they are mainly for British or United Kingdom ancestry, basically. And if you need ancestry of that nature, they're one of the best to go to and subscribe. But they also have a lot of military records, and I have found some of my ancestors who lived here in America didn't necessarily come from the United Kingdom, but I have found them. And how I found them, since I don't subscribe, was a free trial period, not the one where you have to put in your credit card. Don't put your credit card in, or they'll end up billing you at the end of that trial period. And it's difficult to cancel. So I recommend not doing that. But what you need to watch for is when a military holiday comes around, like Veterans Day or Memorial Day, of course, coming up at the end of this month. And you can find them offering their services for free. And that's a good time to do your search for those military personnel. Another thing you can do is look at digitized books, and books.google.com has lots of digitized books that will be very useful and could be useful to you in your search for military ancestors. Another source is worldcat.org. Now, these books won't be digitized. However, if you are interested in a book, a specific book, and you put that title in, or you put your ancestor's name in who was a military person, and you find books, you can then put in your zip code and find the closest libraries to you that have that particular item. And then you can go and look at those items there without having to drive halfway across the country. So those are some really good ideas, and I hope you'll look at them. And WorldCat is at worldcat, all one word, .org, O-R-G. This concludes my book talk about military information. If you're wondering why I look to my left, that's where my script is. And it was all about what we have on our shelves. You're welcome to come in and look at them anytime. And that's all I have. So do join me next month right here on YouTube for Telling Your Tale, also known as How to Write Your Family History. Until next month, bye-bye.